Death of Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Mother and grandfather, and security of Abu Talib. When Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, 6 years old, his mother, Bibi Amina, took him to Medina with her. She stayed there in the Najjar family, who were related to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam from his paternal side. Ayman, a maid and caretaker of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, was with her. Bibi Amina stayed there for a month. While returning to Mecca, she breathed her last at a place called Abwa. She was buried there. Ayman brought Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam to Mecca. After the death of Prophet Muhammad's mother, his grandfather Abdul Muttalib took him under his guardianship. He always kept him close. When he died at the age of 82, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was 8 years old. When his bier was being carried to the graveyard, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam followed weeping love for his dead guardian. At the time of his death, Abdul Muttalib entrusted the responsibility of the Prophet's guardianship to his son Abu Talib. Abu Talib loved the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam very dearly and preferred him even to his children. He used to take him to sleep in his bed with him and kept him in his company when he went out. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was approximately 10, he used to take a herd of goats out in the field to graze. This was, in fact, a prelude to his ultimate career as a caretaker of the world. During the day of prophethood, he used to talk about his experience of this simple and interesting engagement. Once, when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam went to a forest with his companions, they started picking berries and eating them. The Prophet instructed them to pick berries which were black in color, saying that they were more tasteful. He added that he had learned it from his boyhood experience when he used to bring his herd there for grazing. Abu Talib was a trader. The Quraysh used to go to Syria once a year for trade. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam was about 12 when Abu Talib planned to travel to Syria on a business trip. He did not wish to take Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam with him for the fear of the hardships of the journey or for some other reason. But when Abu Talib was about to leave, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam grabbed him and held him tight out of love for him. Abu Talib did not like to disappoint his nephew and decided to take him along. Participation in the Battle of Fijar and the Fuzul Armistice. In Arabia, until the advent of Islam, battles among the tribes were a continuous and common phenomenon, in which the Battle of Fijar was the most famous for its ferocity and consequences. It was fought between the Quraysh and the Qays tribes. As the Quraysh were a party, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam also participated in it as a member of the tribe, but he did not raise his hands on any person. The incessant chain of tribal battles had destroyed hundreds of families. Killing and cruelty had become traditions that tribes considered as their moral obligation to keep up. This situation created a desire in some persons for a reform. When people returned from the Battle of Fijar, Zubair bin Muttalib, who was the Prophet's uncle and a leader of the family, raised this issue. As a result, the families of Hashim, Zahra, and Taim tribes gathered in the house of Abdullah bin Jad'an and came to an agreement that they would support the oppressed and oppose the oppressor to the extent of forcing him to leave Makkah if necessary. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam participated in that agreement. He used to say, after he was invested as prophet, that he would not go back on that agreement for a material gain as priceless as a red camel. He also added that he would readily respond if he were ever called in the name of that agreement. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam had joined his uncle Abu Talib earlier in some of his business trips, in which he had gained necessary experience for conducting trade. Besides, his righteousness in dealings had become well known in the society. Hazrat Abdullah bin Abil Hamsa, a companion, related that once he had entered into a business dealing with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam before his prophethood, which was not finalized yet, He promised the Prophet ﷺ that he would return after a short while, but he forgot about it. When he came back to the place of appointment after 3 days, he found the Prophet ﷺ waiting there for him. The Prophet ﷺ did not show any resentment for his failure to keep his word. He simply told him that he caused him inconvenience, for he kept on waiting for him there for all those 3 days. Subhanallah. Hey, amazing my YouTube family! Thank you for watching Spiritual Miracle Tales. We hope these stories have touched your heart and inspired your soul. If you enjoyed our content, please subscribe to our channel and share these tales with your friends and family. Your support helps us bring more uplifting and miraculous stories to the community. May peace and blessings be upon you. Stay tuned for more inspiring tales. Don't forget to like, comment, and spread the love.